Hi everyone, welcome to Just Stripper Things. Today we're going to be talking about the money shot.
Make it rain, money, 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 because at the end of the day, that's all everyone thinks about. So,
what we do.
yeah. Well, obviously the attraction to exotic dancing, any type of sex work is honestly it is almost like the minimal amount of time you have to work for the cost. It's not the least amount of work you have to do. It's still a lot of physical work. Basically being paid to exercise. Awesome. Opposed to paying for your gym membership, people.
But we still went to the gym.
Anywho, yeah, basically it's the shortest amount of time for the most amount of money in your week. But what people don't realize is how much things actually cost in the long run. You know, not just week to week, month to month, it's day to day, minute to minute. Things cost money. And when you're an exotic dancer, at least in BC, you are self-employed, which can really wreak havoc on tax time and various other things.
Mm-hmm.
So we're going to talk about the cost of being an exotic dancer, stripper, peeler, whatever you want to call it in BC.
As Jen just pointed out, specifically BC, because that's where most of our experience is. I personally never went outside of BC. You did.
I did work Alberta for a couple weeks, and that was really fun. First of all, and it's different there because they do coin tosses. They don't do that here. You can make a lot of money. You literally hold a string with a circle magnet, pick up all the toonies and loonies off stage after your show, and you make anywhere from $100 to $400 in 20 minutes plus your stage show, just in coins. It's epic. I recommend Alberta girls work Alberta. You have to get a license for Edmonton and Calgary, but everywhere else, go ahead. They don't care. Anywho, we're going to talk about the cost of being an exotic dancer in BC as to our experiences when we were still dancing. I don't think too much has changed. It's only been an amount of years.
12 years. For me. I'm not sure about you.
A while. Anywho, so yes, let's first talk about show rates. Show rates.
When I started, rookies got 35 a show.
Show is how long?
18 minutes.
Full show.
Full show. You didn't always get a full show. Sometimes you do like half show to start or da 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 da. But in the end, you would get anywhere from 15 to up to 30, which was killer. No, thank you. Shows a week. But again, you were working 6 days a week in most of the places.
Sometimes 7.
Yeah. If you were doing Sunday to Sunday, Sundays 8.
But when you're 22, you can handle it.
Yeah, when you had to pay your rent and had bills and da 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 da, you know. But the thing I do want to point out that a lot of people don't realize is a lot of times you're basically working 18 minutes at a time, but 12-hour days.
Very, very long. 12 at least.
Yeah, sometimes 13.
12 to 2 a.m.
Ugh, those were kind of the worst.
Yeah.
But that's back when we had good show counts. Because you would get like at least 28 shows a week at that point. When they started cutting out lunch shows, when they started cutting it down to half shows, if there weren't enough people in the audience, that's when things really started going downhill, and all of a sudden you're not making as much money. And when you're doing half shows, you're still getting naked, but you're getting paid half as much because you're only doing a 9-minute show, but you're still getting fully naked, so...
You do have to work. Yeah, so basically the way it worked in BC was you didn't get a flat rate per week. There's only one club, the Alder, that did that. But everywhere else it was per show. It depended on A, your experience, B, where you were. So if you were in town, Vancouver, Lower Mainland, you'd be making, what, $35, $40 a show back then.
When you basically started, like when you were a rookie, it was 35, and then once you weren't so obviously a rookie, you had some costumes, you had some experience, you didn't look like you were completely lost on stage, you got like 40.
From there, it could be $5 more per show if you're working out of town, as well as
when you get your promo, if you get implants,
plastic surgery, any sort of beauty enhancements.
some people got show raises for stuff that spread their brand, like if they were in magazines, if they were like Hustler or anything like
There
that.
are a few dancers like in Playboy and stuff like that. Yeah.
Anything that basically makes you more marketable to the club and is more likely to get more people in the seats will get you a bigger show rate. Hence why promo gets you a raise, because then they can advertise pictures of these beautiful women right here this week.
Yeah, they were photoshopped most of the time.
So photoshopped. The photographer the agency specifically recommended that would guarantee you a raise. I spent like $2,000 on promo.
And you still post yours, don't you?
I finally got rid of the last two and I like one of the last Dancers for Cancer events. It took me years. You could only order them in a batch of 1,000.
So that was a big thing about was the show rate. So you only make X amount, so it can really vary from club to club. You can make anywhere from $500 to $2,000 a week, just in show price alone. Which brings me to the next subject matter: VIPs or not. In BC, there is no physical contact allowed legally through the liquor board. BC Liquor Board, yep. Between the dancers and the customers. So there is no lap dances. There's only private shows or stage shows. There's no touching allowed whatsoever. So some clubs had if you worked for the week for them, they had a rule of if you weren't doing VIPs, you had to pay the club $10 a day. But if you were doing VIPs, you had to pay them $5 to $10 for every VIP. Most girls back then were charging $40 to $60, and it was per song.
It was about 40,
Yeah. So it'd be about 3-4 minutes.
When I was at the Drake, when I very first started dancing, honestly, most of the dancers were doing more contact. But when you're doing that, you are kind of putting yourself at a higher risk in many, many ways. And some people aren't comfortable with that, and some people are, and like that's fine. But the dancers who were doing more contact, they would charge more. So it was like $50 when most of us would charge $30, $40, I think. But yeah, there was always a house fee, and that's why they did that whole like mandatory, you pay out this much if you're not doing dances, because they're not making money off of the stuff that you give to the house.
And there's also certain clubs that would do mandatory floor time. They wouldn't charge you for it, but you had to be down there in your costumes or
like a bikini.
With heels, just
looking pretty,
being down on the floor, spending time with customers,
being ornamental, basically.
Even though you could totally do that on your own in regular clothes, they want you to be in certain clothes, which is valid, I guess. But at the same time, I'm still hanging out with them, and they're spending money at the bar if I'm in my street clothes or not. So who cares? So that could be a tipping point too financially. Another thing, a huge thing, is in BC, you cannot work a club week to week and do full stage shows bookings without
an agency.
And guess what? Agencies cost you money. Even though you are self-employed, they do the bookings.
And they get the commission, and then plus you're paying off the GST on the commission. So you're basically paying their GST. Like, I never understood that. Ever.
So basically, you get paid X amount per show. There's a guaranteed show amount per week at this club. The agency gets 15% of that. Easily, they make a couple $100 off you, basically by making a phone call. And that was their job, and they would make money.
Which is the highest amount they can take, actually.
Which all they do, it really is, hey, I have these girls coming to your club this week. Sound good? Yeah, okay, cool. I mean, sometimes I'm sure they dealt with some not very great people managing bars, but at the same time, some of them weren't agents.
Yeah,
so
that's why I booked through the agency that I booked through for the most part, because we actually dealt with stuff, unlike the other two agencies where they basically let the clubs walk right all over us and didn't really do anything and didn't care. So yeah, some agencies will do more for you than others.
So yeah, that was another thing in your patient that immediately was cut off. The next thing was travel costs. You had to travel in BC. You didn't just work at one club like in the US and just stick there all the time, have your regulars. You were all over the place. You had regulars though.
In the US, as far as I know, my knowledge isn't super big, but I think in the US it is more just VIP. So you're not getting paid for stage, so you're not traveling all the time. The reason why we traveled all the time was because we were getting paid for stage. We were not the hustlers that work at one club all the time kind of thing.
So our US fans, please let us know in the comments how it works for you in your area, and then we would definitely talk about it more because I'd love to learn more about that.
Actually, that was one kind of idea we had at one point, was if this channel does get bigger, we would absolutely love for people outside of the country to share their experience and stuff
People
like that.
in Europe, in Asia, in South America, in Australia, anywhere in the world, please tell us what your experience is. But anywho, back to the topic today.
So the travel costs. So you basically were your own travel agent, because it's not like the agency.
They told you where you're going, but you had to decide how to get there.
So if you don't drive, you're like, okay, so I have to take this ferry, I have to take this bus.
Greyhound.
So many Greyhounds.
They didn't have Wi-Fi on Greyhound back then. You had to figure out your phone entertainment. That's tough. But so basically, yeah, you take whatever bus can get you there by X amount of time. And of course, as we know, Greyhounds can take 12 hours longer than they should. Or ferries, delays, that sort of stuff. But basically, it came out of your own pocket.
All of it.
All of it.
There was only one club that they actually paid for your travel, and that's because it was so bloody far away up north that they had to fly you there. Was it Prince George?
I worked for Prince George and they flew me up there. The agency flew me.
Yeah, that's the one.
That was really cool.
I would literally have like a binder full of DVDs with my laptop.
And I had a CD player with CDs.
Yes.
I'm aging myself so badly doing this.
I started being on a Greyhound with another dancer coming back from Kelowna, and we both realized that we're like huge into industrial music. So we're sitting there on the Greyhound, like headphones. No, this is this. This is this. This is this. And doing that whole headphone trading thing as we're like shuffling through our CD books. That was a thing.
CDs.
CDs. Binders of CDs. I don't have binders.
Also, another thing you had to pay for CDs and burning your own music.
Oh, that was so expensive.
I still have nightmares to this. Well, not nightmares, but I guess dancer dreams.
Yeah.
Where I sit there and I get to a club and I'm like, okay, either I've forgotten my costumes out of town, or I don't know what to do with my child. Because I'm like, oh my god, I'm here a week. I don't have childcare. Or I'm like, do they still use CDs? Because I forgot mine. How do I play music? And
they use USB sticks now,
See?
which is so cool. I had folders. I have folders. I had folders of different sets that I was going to do when we were doing the charity functions. So I got my nerd on with my organizing my songs and on this freaking flash drive that I would just give to the DJ for this clothing. It was so exciting.
It was terrible. I don't understand. I would still burn CDs instead. Be like, listen up, Sonny. We're gonna play track 2, track 10, track 1, and track 12. That should be about 1735, by the way.
You had to make sure it was reasonably within the time of 18 minutes.
Yeah. Anywho. And here comes the big cost.
Costumes. God, they're so expensive.
That gives the illusion of the dancer, the sexuality, the mysterious woman that you are. When really at the end of the day you're thinking about laundry and if you have something stuck in your teeth. Anywho, so you could buy costumes off the rack at pornography stores, sex shops, but A, they would be custom fit, and B, you usually didn't have undergarments.
They were usually just like 2-piece things, and you need like 4 things.
And you want it to match, so you look like a pro, right? You don't want to look like some girl who's free. It's like, I'm here to be a stripper. No big deal, because we all were that at one point.
Yeah, everybody starts out like that.
But you want to look professional and they all match.
Mm-hmm. Plus, you want the stuff with the snaps.
Oh yeah. So
my costume lady made the best bras.
there were costume ladies. Either they were
Oh,
former exotic dancers or they were just super supportive community. They would make custom costumes. And there was one costume lady, Shirley, who would make the best bras that would make your boobs look.
Even when my boobs shrank like that.
Yeah, so you would have to get custom costumes made, and they would range anywhere from some
100 to like 500.
even more. They would make basic stuff. Some ladies would make costumes and just come to the club and just be like, I have this basic kind of set. There was no theme to it. Theme costumes were big, apparently.
Theme costumes were
Like
big.
nurse, school teacher.
Usually way more expensive too, because then you have all the sequins, and sequins are more expensive.
And there's
PVC is more expensive.
But stuff
you
like
want
that.
things.
Yeah. So there was always the ladies that would make like the basic costumes that come around the club. They'd be sold for like $100 to $120.
Yeah.
And that would be like your
Your
basic
daytime stuff.
Yeah, daytime stuff. But then nighttime you want themes like nurses,
Sailor, Dominatrix,
Satan,
the Hurricane, an
um,
elf.
yeah, there were so many themes. There was Granny.
I love that one.
Nuns. Nuns were good. So those are the theme ideas, like the sexual fantasies, the common ones that people would have. And when you customize it to your
Everybody wants
measurements,
to fuck the devil. Right. Yeah.
so everyone, besides wanting to fuck the devil, they have sexual fantasies. Everybody does. The idea of the dance, especially at nighttime on a weekend, when it's bars packed and full of people, like looking for a good night, was your idea was to sell those sexual fantasies without the, sex, basically. So it was really good to have those themed costumes. You'd get booked more, you would get paid more. Some certain costumes can even go up to like $1,000, $2,000, depending on the piece.
Yeah.
Biggest showgirls ones with all the tons of feathers and sequins and bells and whistles. Money, 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 money. That sort of stuff. So that was a huge cost because you had to take extra good care of them, which also included stripper shoes. Anyone ever buy tweezers, you know that the basic clear or black strap-on shoes were $60.
Strap-on.
Sorry. Thigh-high boots are going.
The boots.
Oh, I love boots, but I have so many stripper shoes still to this day. I have a pair of thigh-highs. They cost me $100, which isn't bad. I haven't
That's
even
really
worn them.
good.
I haven't even worn them because I'm never out doing anything involving this stuff anymore. Don't say bedroom.
We got like $400 ones at Hypatia.
Oh, I
They were, like,
love
super,
those.
super
They were
high quality.
So good.
They were really
They helped
good.
us hold. They were platforms with heel. Loved them.
Oh, they were so pretty, but they were like $400 each or something.
They were
Like,
beautiful.
were they $200 each, and I just paid for both of ours because I was.
You paid for mine because it was my welcome to scripting gift. They're like, I have an idea, gift basket, basically.
So like the travel pack that like keeps all your makeup and all your like.
And you bought me stripper boots. So. Anyways, I still have a bunch recently bought because I love them.
They're amazing.
Yeah, they make my legs look longer, and being a short person, when you're mostly torso. But anyway, so yeah, boots were a huge cost because you go through them like water.
Yeah,
You would get holes in them, the heels snap off. Like that happened. And I had to wear hers, and she's a size 10. And we were in Penticton. Penticton don't have no stripper shoe store.
No.
Penticton don't have eBay, Amazon, all that. Because this was like
This is before
4 years
Amazon
ago.
was a thing.
This was a long time. So I have size 7, 8 feet.
She's
size
tiny,
10.
I big.
So I had to wear her boots for the week because my heel literally snapped off. And I couldn't fix it.
I remember that.
I
Was it
felt
like 5 pairs of socks that you were wearing? Trying to make those
something like that. I felt like a clown stripper. I was like, so they don't care at the end of the day because you're me. They don't care.
Then there was the time when they like redid the floor at the penthouse stage, and it was so slippery that the only shoes I could wear were my white ones because they had like this ridiculous topi on them. Okay, and even after you buy the shiz, after you buy the boots, you have to get topi put on them, which is
like
the
grip. The
Yes.
best grip for smooth surfaces.
Because those things don't typically have grip on them at all, so you'd be slipping and sliding across the
And
stage.
you don't want to do that on stage.
Yeah, especially when your body is your source of income. So I could only wear my white ones because they have this like ultra grippy, super topi
Like
on them
teeth.
for some reason. Yeah, my shoes had teeth. I was so bitter because I did not like wearing shoes. I only had the white shoes for like just a couple costumes that would only work with white shoes. Most of my other stuff was with my black boots. So I felt so constrained by these stupid white shoes. Plus they don't have as much ankle support. But even so, even though I have my favorite pair of boots, I would usually have to have like a pair of black boots, a pair of white boots, or a pair of black boots, shoes that are either white or clear, because black isn't gonna match with everything. So you're not just spending like $100 on one pair every couple months.
$100 on food.
So much money. Oh my god. I would always wear out the sides too, because I like did like swirly things with my feet. I don't know. You wear out your shoes in the most ridiculous ways. For me, it was always the sides one. It was got so damaged.
But let's talk about another big expenditure of dancing. So you're out of town, you stay in a hotel either above the club or near the club, which is provided by the club, thankfully. But guess what? You don't have a kitchen. So what are you going to do to eat every day?
You're going to eat out.
You're going to eat out.
Yeah,
that's
you
probably
are.
good phrase. So you're talking breakfast, lunch, dinner, snacks, 2 a.m. food because you've been like working out all day on the club, like on the club, on the
club.
Can you tell I'm getting old and tired? I'm like it's 9:30. On the stage, you have been working out all day, my friend.
So you're burning energy and calories all freaking
So
day.
you're constantly going for food, constantly $10, $12 meal at least.
In some places, like there was nowhere within walking distance, so you'd be ordering stuff in and having to pay for delivery, paying for tip, paying all this extra stuff. So
And if you had leftovers, there was no fridge to keep it in. You had to throw it out. How was that? There was a lot of money spent there.
Then there was the tanning.
Oh. Some clubs, though, if there were some clubs...
There were like 1 or 2 clubs
There was
only.
certain clubs that had, Penticton had their own tanning bed for the dancers, but other clubs would have a deal with tanning salons in the area.
Sometimes.
Where you'd only have to pay $5 drop-in, which wasn't so bad. Because back then, everyone thought you needed a tan, because we were like, if you're not tan, you're not beautiful.
You look sickly.
I'm like,
Also, it makes you look skinnier.
So, skin cancer is hot, apparently. So sexy. I'm like skin cancer. I can't control my skin color like anybody else in the fucking universe. So, yeah. Anywho, we would tan.
But they wouldn't even expect, like, dark-skinned girls to tan.
Oh my god, what the hell?
They still expect the, like,
What?
really dark-skinned girls to have tan lines.
They wanted the tan. Apparently, it was sexy. Mind you, these agents were mostly in their 40s and 50s, so we're thinking 1980s mentality here, people.
I've said it before, I say it again. Fucking stripping agents are like Vince McMahon. They think that what they think sells is what everybody thinks. They know what men like, and men are all of a sudden...
single man.
Oh yeah, every single man on earth.
They knew what they wanted. Even though back when I was the young dancer, I did have several tattoos, not as many as I do now, not as many as I'll have in the next few years. But tattoos were very, masculine, faux pas. No, girls don't do that. Oh, I had several, and I remember being booked at the Cecil, and I was told to cover them up. And to cover a tattoo up, especially with dark colors, you have to use a lot of corrector colors and then regular skin tone for yourself, foundation on top.
Or like super high coverage foundation, like Derma Blender Cover Effects.
Which would eventually sweat off because you're dancing.
And get all over your costumes, your
So you
$1,000
fuck your
costumes.
costumes up. Just so that you can cover them up. But I remember doing a private show at the Cecil and my tattoos were kind of covering this guy was like, I need a private show for you. Oh my god, you have tattoos. It's so hard to find a dancer with tattoos back then. And
it's become more acceptable now.
Oh my gosh, absolutely. I remember seeing certain exotic dancer, I don't know if I should name it, but when she first Stage name Rachel Rampage. Gorgeous, gorgeous, wonderful rock and roll stripper. When I first saw her, she had a bunch of tattoos, more than when I was dancing, and she had this hair, and I was like, oh my god, I gave her money, loved her. Now she's like top entertainer at Brandy's. Go see Rachel Rampage at Brandy's. Love her.
Wow.
Yeah,
really?
Covered in tattoos.
Awesome.
Amazing, super cool. I did draw a portrait of her. Check out my Instagram, Equal to Jen.
I've seen that.
Yes, she actually shared it too, and I'm so happy.
That's so cool.
Anywho, but this guy wanted a private show, and he's like, oh my god, he gave me money because he's like, I never see girls with tattoos, and that's what he liked.
Mm-hmm.
It's really customary to each person, and that's the thing is these agents were so stuck in this time frame that it really, I feel, aged dancers without them being that age.
It aged the industry as well.
Mm-hmm. It's basically the, no offense to Pamela Anderson, but the Pamela Anderson look.
Yeah.
Bleach blonde, super tanned, big tits.
That was
That's
the
it.
idea of that.
They all wanted you to bleach and get boobs. That's it. Whereas I see circuits nowadays, and it's all types of girls, which is amazing and wonderful and beautiful.
Like fun hair, so many tattoos.
Different body types, different hairstyles.
Still not as good on the different body types because you still can't be like above a certain certain percentage of body fat,
Different breast sizes, natural, fake. Short hair is okay now, whereas before it was a, you're never getting booked. She would know. This lovely lady, her agent, lovely agent told her, you need a haircut. Your hair's so straw-like, it's so dry.
After they told me to bleach out the black because I had black hair and pale skin.
So she did that, and it was
Which
Friday, told her to cut her hair, and she's like, okay.
Okay, you want me to cut my hair?
Shaved it all off. She came to see me at
The bird.
The dirty bird, rest in peace again. And she's like, Jen, up the stairs. I'm like, what? I think he's emergency.
I had like a
Comes up,
bandana on.
and she
So
goes,
I take off the bandana.
and I'm like, ah! It was like, long hair bleach, it wasn't you. I didn't feel it was you, and I felt like you found yourself again. And I loved it because you would wear wigs on stage, and you would sometimes have the right audience. Even if you didn't, you'd be like, no, I feel like it. You'd rip off your wig with your buzz head, and guys would be like, yeah! And now there's
That was Gibson.
well, so many dancers. I see dancers. Kruella Kraken, amazing dancer in Edmonton, I believe she's based out of. No, if I'm wrong, correct me please in the comments. Kruella Kraken, amazing entertainer, covered tattoos, has alopecia. Will wear wigs, won't wear wigs. Up to her. Either way, she is a mega babe. Follow her. Kruella Kraken. Love her.
That's amazing. That is so freaking cool. I didn't know about that.
Yeah. So yeah. There's also the tanning, the pedicure.
And then there's what a lot of people don't understand. Aside from the cost that we put into it. Oh yeah, by the way, all the makeup, not just for the covering tattoos, but
deodorant.
you're going
do
through
your
that stuff
laundry
all
on the
the time.
road.
Or you can't do your laundry on the road because there's no.
So you have to buy new socks and underwear all the
All
time.
the time. All the time. It's
Yeah.
bad. But you're going through makeup a lot because even if you're not covering up tattoos, you still have to wear pretty heavy makeup to make your features show in the midst of all these lights, and so that you actually have features to people in the very back.
Not only that, but after sweating it off, you'd have to basically do it again. So
All
think
day.
of that like at least 3 times a day, at least. It added up.
Or you're really bored because you have nothing to do in the
You're
changes.
like,
so
I'm gonna do this.
you just keep like doing more weird stuff with your makeup.
How smoky can my eyes get? Very. I found out very.
Sick.
So yeah, at the end of the day, things cost a lot. You're like, oh, I made like $1,200 this week, but at least half of that has gone to expenses. So you're really not making too much at the end of the day. Never mind tax time when you're self-employed and you have to pay GST and EI and medical, and because we get that covered here in Canada, but we all have to kind of pay into it, which makes it fair for everyone, which I'm
Yeah, but
really
we are-
awesome with.
Except for the fact that we're the only province that pays for medical service time.
Oh shit, I didn't know that. Lesson learned.
Yeah, it's cool, isn't it? But that goes into what I was going to talk about is the thing people really don't think about is what we do not get.
Oh, benefits.
Yep. We don't get benefits.
No.
So no dental, no medical, nothing.
Nothing. No massage therapy, which you're doing physical job, your body hurts.
If you get injured at work
No
or you
wonder.
just can't work, you don't get workers' comp. You get nothing. Because you're an independent contractor. Even though you're working with an agency, even though you're working at these clubs and da-da-da-da, you're an independent contractor.
Basically, my favorite thing in the day is that if someone's being a dick to me, unlike any other job, is that I can tell them to fuck off. He's a dick.
It is
Every
the
other
worst
job, I'm like,
way. Okay, I'll just
I'm
kill
sorry
myself now.
you feel that way.
That is literally the only time when I love that apology. I did it at work one time when this dude was complaining about me, and I kind of turned around like, I just took an apology.
I'm sorry you feel that way.
The only time that's fucking acceptable.
Yes. So, we also had friends that would just sue because we were dancers and made tons of money and blah, blah, blah. And
Friends,
they'd be
boyfriends,
like,
lieutenant
oh,
manager,
okay, go.
everybody.
Yeah. They'd assume we'd pay for everything. And at the end of the day, we were just making our ends meet like everyone else. So, before you assume they're just hustlers, some girls are. There's some girls are really incredible at it, and I wish I knew how they did it. There were girls that make thousands of dollars a week hustling the crowd, and kudos to them. They're good.
I'm legit jealous of them because I always felt so awkward talking to these randos and doing
I'm
private
like, look
shows.
what I can do.
Just like, I have to make eye contact now? Yeah.
So, but at the end of the day, once they're, especially in the city, once our bills and rent and all that were paid, it wasn't much left. But we had a fun job at the end of the day. We had lots of great friends and good times. The amount of work we put in, at least I didn't have to pretend to be nice for 8 hours. I could just go on for 20 minutes and have a 2-hour break as opposed to 15. That was
And the cool thing was, like, sometimes with the traveling, especially if we had, like, long breaks between shows, I got to go to the Victoria Museum. There was the
you
one
can
time.
explore things. It's so cool.
It is
Explore
really
your
cool.
province, explore your state, explore your town. Who cares? Go explore while you're out. It's fun.
And it was super fun that time where we got to be in Victoria for the time when they had the exhibit from, I think it was like the Royal British Museum, and they had that Egyptian exhibit, and it didn't
That's
usually
there again, by
leave.
the way. I know.
But yeah, we were there for that week in Victoria. So the Sunday, we checked out of the hotel and we went to this exhibit, and it was freaking amazing.
So yeah, do what you can, make the money, go see things, but don't let people take advantage of you. Don't let people, people that are not in the industry or never have been, don't take advantage of the people that are and assume they're making a shit ton of money.
And assume that it's easy money.
It's not. You have to work and fake be nice.
None of that
Just like
shit is
every
easy.
other fucking retail job, okay? Like, yes, okay.
Thanks for watching, everyone. Please hit that subscribe
Like,
button.
subscribe, share,
Do all
just
the
stripper
things.
things. We'll talk to you soon.
And remember to strip the stigma.
Strip the stigma. Alright. Rolling. Sound. Money shot.